and welcome to episode 59 of Retro Recall the PS1 Chronicles, a show where we play and rank every PlayStation game ever created. My name is Jimmy, and as always, I'm here with Mike.
Hello.
And this week, we're here with Jack.
Hello!
I've been trying to get you to do an episode for a while, but I finally got you with Ape Escape.
I don't play PS1 games.
I offered you to be on Siphon Filter, and you were like,
This game was bad.
yeah, I tried to explain to you that that's part of the fun.
Sorry.
Wait, so have you played Ape Escape a lot?
I had it on PSP, but back in the day, I was, second or third grade when I had that, so I was a little too young to really appreciate it for how shitty of a game it is.
All right, hold on. We'll get into it. Well, that was going to be one of my questions in the beginning is, are you familiar with Ape Escape at all? And I have never played it, so.
Yeah, I was always attracted to the monkey with the Uzi. That's why I liked it.
Mike, have you played it at all?
No, this was one of, just like Medieval, this was something I read in magazines all the time, and I really, really wanted to play it, and I just never had the chance.
I don't think that I got one of the controllers with the analog sticks until later, so I couldn't play this because you need that.
Yeah, which I think is the first one we've come across so far where it's like, you cannot play this game unless you have the analog sticks.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I don't think there's that many that do that because, who's going to buy one?
PS2 came out not long after, right?
Yeah, 2 years later after this? Maybe even 1 year?
I think it was a year, yeah.
Yeah, I know there's 3 more Ape Escape games, so I don't think any of them are on PS1, though.
Yeah. And, we kind of glossed over it. Who is Jack? And
yeah, Jack, who are you?
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm Jimmy's friend, and I'm in his band.
He's in the band.
Sure am.
All right, well, Jack, what are your favorite games?
One of the writers in the Writers Guild.
Is that what we're calling it now? The two of us?
Pillar, if you will. Anyways, what was your question?
What are your favorite games? Name 3 or 4 or something.
Of all time.
Yeah, not PS1, just in general. What kind of games do you like?
Well, I'd say that my favorites in the past 10 years would be I still to this day play Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Binding of Isaac. Games that you can just keep playing for years on end. And they don't release the same version of that game every year. They just keep making the game good itself without selling you the same bullshit.
I agree. I'm the one that got you on Isaac because I'm like, you have to fucking play this.
Yeah, and it ruined all games for me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mike's actually about to start playing it, yeah.
Yep.
Fun.
Thanks, yeah. I already don't have a life with the games I have, so I'm excited for Isaac to ruin that even more.
You'll never be able to play another roguelike again. Just because now you're going to know how good it is. There's no turning back.
That is true, yes.
But yeah, before we get in the game, I have one other question, and it's, are intentionally silly concepts like this game appealing to you? A game about a bunch of monkeys escaping, going through time, and you have to go capture them with a net.
Yep. I like
you into that?
Yeah, I can fuck with that for sure. That's my flavor, definitely.
The same goes for Pikmin. You're on a planet and you got to pick these plant alien things to help you grab space parts. It's just a weird concept in it. I don't know. Something about those. And you can go any game really is just a silly concept.
You play Croc?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Croc rules. I'll do Croc. Next time you want me on an episode, make it Croc. Croc rules.
Yeah, but you're going to have to play that on a computer, though. I don't think that's on PS5.
Watch your mouth.
What were you saying, Gex?
Gex, yeah. You're just an undercover gecko that's like James Bond doing missions.
I'm familiar with Gex for sure.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper?
That's PS2.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of Gex?
No. I've heard of 100 Gex.
Gex is a weird gecko that's like James Bond.
Imagine if you took the Geico gecko and put him in a suit like James Bond and you go around doing missions.
I can play with that.
It's pretty dumb, actually. I mean, it's
What about Conkers?
That's N64, but I have played that.
We're learning Jack has played everything except for PlayStation 1.
I was so young back then.
Yeah.
I had the PlayStation 1, but I still like played my N64 because that's what I knew how to play from the Eagle's Nest.
I went to the Eagle's Nest. I have a very vivid memory of playing Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast there.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm like, let's go to Giant Eagle. Come on.
Hell yeah.
I was trying to figure out, I'm like, I've heard Eagle's Nest, and like, where have I heard that before? And I could not place it.
That's a Pittsburgh icon, the Eagle's Nest, Giant Eagle.
I think they're all gone, though, now.
Yeah, that seemed to have been a conflict of interest. People forgetting their kids. And
all right. Well, I think with that, we can just get into the game. Ape Escape was released on June 2nd, 1999. It was developed by Sony Japan and published by Sony. And this is a 3D platformer, a like light collectathon, I would say. I mean, it's not fully what I would call one of those, but it definitely is about collecting things.
Yes, yeah.
Whenever I think about that, I think about like Mario 64 or like one of those where you're just in a big open area and you have to just find whatever thing they want you to find. And this is level based, so it's a little different, I think.
Yeah. I think it pretty much rides that line of collectathon where you can just call it a collectathon.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you're collecting monkeys. That is the goal in this game. There's other like icons you can collect that are basically like rings or the peaches in Crash.
But you're not there for those. You're there for those ape bastards.
That's true.
You got to catch them, put them in a net to be later trafficked.
But you have to get the other things because if you don't, you'll run out of lives, which I saw you playing earlier and you got a game over. I never got a game over, so maybe that's because you ignored them.
Yeah, probably. I was trying to get far.
Well, we made it to the same spot, so.
Okay, so then I guess how long did everyone play and how far did you make it?
Mine said 4 hours.
Mine is around exactly 3 hours, and the last level that I played, I forget the name of it, but it was a pun based on wasabi.
It was like wasabi or something.
Yeah, wasabi, I think, or something.
So is that after the ice levels?
Yes.
Okay. So then I did 4 hours and made it to the third ice level.
I like the ice levels. They were pleasant. Remind me of Spyro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be making that comparison a lot in this game, in this episode.
Yeah, I want to say we probably finished like maybe 2 or 3 levels ahead of you, but I didn't get any new items or anything, so like it's not like you missed that much other than a few levels.
Well, the reason why I didn't make it as far, I probably could have, but I purposely went back and started 100%ing the earlier levels.
Why?
Because I needed the coin thing so I can get the first mini game at least, just to try one.
Oh, I got the first minigame all right.
Yeah, I didn't even touch those.
I mean, we could talk about that real quick before we get into the game the regular way, but that ski minigame fucking sucks.
It could be better. What do you not like about it?
The controls, they just suck.
Yeah, the controls, especially the racing levels, like, oh my God. Trying to race with those ones, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, the foot race ones.
I beat the first one, but the second one I was like, I'm not doing this again. There's no point.
I didn't even beat the first one. I probably could have the second time, but the first attempt I couldn't.
Oh yeah, I played it over and over again for like 15 minutes till I beat it. 'Cause I'm like, I have to beat one of these to see what happens, and nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, you just beat another level, you know? But yeah, I mean, so we already talked about what the story is of this game. There's a smart monkey that is taking other monkeys back in time. Spectre. And he wants to change history with his army of monkeys.
We've all seen Planet of the Apes. We know how this goes.
Yeah, we got to put an end to it before it gets that far. And
Franco.
our character is Spike. And I don't remember the other characters' names, but there's the professor and then there's the girl.
There's a Jake.
Is
There's
Jake
a
the
certified
friend?
Jake. He has a blue hair,
Okay, yeah.
blue mohawk. Jake.
Oh yeah. He's like the is he like your rival or something? Like
Yeah, he's got stinker energy.
yeah, I think he might be one of the bad guys. I don't know.
Yeah, he's brainwashed by Spectre
Okay.
to fight you. And he's the one you race against in the foot races.
Yeah, I remembered that.
Yeah.
He's fast.
And then you have that random purple-haired girl that shows up for the title screens before each level, and they don't say who she is or why she's there.
She's just here to let you know about the monkeys. That's it. I don't know. I mean, does the professor have a name or is his name just the professor? I don't remember.
I think it's just Professor.
Yeah.
I like how he moves. He's like,
What's funny is in the skiing minigame, you can play as him. You can play as all the characters and you can play as a monkey too. And yeah, I just didn't like that minigame at all. And it made sure that I did not even try to unlock any of the other ones.
That's fair.
Like I don't know. We can just get into this first main point that I wanted to bring up is like the analog stick gimmick of these controls. And I just don't like it.
They went all in on the fact that a controller now has 2 analog sticks.
mm-hmm.
Like this is like those games that you played when the Wii came out. It's like, oh, waggle it around. Same vibe, you know?
You mean like Astrobot?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I did do that. Whether the PS5, right?
Yeah. They're like, look at what our controller does.
I played the one in VR. That one was sick because you could like see the controller in VR while you're holding it.
Yeah.
VR is just sick in general, though.
That's true.
I think it's just one of those things of just anytime there's a new feature that comes out with gaming, you're going to have those gimmick games that just focus on that feature the entire time. So I think I personally kind of like it, how they go all in on that.
I like that they go all in on it, but it's just not fun. Like I think it just feels too janky. Like,
well, it's like the first of its type. You know?
Exactly. Like it's so hard to be precise with it, especially like
the rowing of the boat. Oh my god.
We're going to get into that later. That's different. I'm talking about just the regular game right now.
Yeah.
Like literally hitting an enemy is so hard.
You have to hit them by you have to side hit them. You can't hit them directly on or they'll miss them.
I started getting into the habit of I would swing down and then start swinging in a circle to just, if I miss the first time, I'm going to hit you the second time.
I just think about how this game would be literally way too easy if you could just play it normally and not use the analog stick. Like the analog stick is not necessary to this game at all.
Especially to attack. It's almost gets in your way.
Like if I could just push a button and hit the net down, I guarantee you that I would have just probably beat this game.
But look, that monkey's getting away from you.
Yeah, because it's fucking so annoying to hit him.
You gotta be quicker. There you go.
The thing, and I mean, especially what we're looking at right now is you've done probably what we all did, where you would hit the monkey to stun him, grab your net, and then miss with the net. And then you're like, oh, damn it. Now I got to chase this thing around.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, in the beginning, it was an annoyance and I hated this game so much. The more I played and the more I got used to it,
I agree.
it started to turn around on me. I actually was having a lot of fun.
I want to say I probably had the opposite experience of that, where I really liked it at first. And over time, I just kind of got really sick of it, especially the more I played and like the more the game asks of you. Like there's all these different gadgets that you use and every single one, you have to use the analog stick. And I would say probably most of them don't control very well.
None of them control well.
I just mean like, yeah, the radar's fine, right? The sky flyer thing where you fly up in the air, that's fine. But the slingshot is essentially useless because you can't aim. Yeah. The ring that you spin and then you can go really fast, it's cool, but if you don't line everything up exactly right, you just go right off.
Yeah, kinda, yes. It's one of those things where I feel like if you just, the more you use it, the more you get the feeling of it, and then it just becomes easier.
I don't know. I just think it's very much like we have this new technology. You should check this out. And like playing it now when we've been using analog sticks for like 20 years, it's just like not that cool. And I would just literally prefer a button over anything.
I get that. But you were saying, did you agree, Jack, that the more you played, the better it became?
Yeah, I felt so. I was doing better, at least the more that I unlocked, and the more I got a hang of using like the radar and switching between the different tools and stuff. It did grow on me, and I was playing it today some, but once you get up past the ice levels, it gets pretty itchy.
So, I mean, I'll go with this a bit further on this. And we're kind of just diving all in on the mechanics of this game. But imagine if it was just a button. You just hit X or something and he swings the baton. Now you're fighting of where your positioning is of the character facing the monkey. And then you got to hit a button to swing straight down unless you had a swiping attack too or something. I feel like that's what their thought is of, oh, if you have the joystick, you can control wherever you're aiming.
That takes a while to get used to. But once you do get used to it, it's a little easier. I tried to remap the buttons, but there was not happening.
Well, I do agree with you. But then comes the next thing that really hinders the game, and that's the camera.
It's the worst.
So you combine these two things. Yeah, I mean, it's just a nightmare sometimes. Like, literally, you can think you have something lined up perfectly, and you just don't.
Well, once you figure out the pivot on the L1,
yeah, but you have to just
easier
constantly hit that though, like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It brought back all of our comments from Rising Zan.
Yes,
of just nonstop hitting that button to keep the camera behind you. I did find though lining stuff like if you're lining up a jump, it just was easier just to push L2, go in the first person, see where you're looking, and when you come out of the L2 mode, you're standing in the position you want to be standing in. And that was just what I used whenever I had a platform to a difficult area.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I would literally just line it up with the L1 to get the camera exactly where I wanted it and then do it. But
I can see why you went insane then.
It's just frustrating. I mean,
yep.
With you using the sticks, there's obviously not camera control. I wonder, like, I guess they probably don't fix it in the later ones because how would they if you're playing it this way?
Mm.
But I don't know. I would just rather it be a button for everything and then use the analog stick for the camera. I think that would make it way more fun and way easier to go exactly and do what you want.
We've just known that for so long.
Yeah.
And it's going back of just like, you can tell this is just 100% experimental game. So it makes sense to why they did a lot of the things they did. And they're just trying to make it work with the vision they have for the game they want to make. This
is also definitely a high budget game too.
But it has that like Newgrounds attitude feeling to it too, kind of.
Yeah. That like early 2000s, like this is just weird to be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, I think the graphics are really good. Like it looks great.
Great's a stretch.
You haven't seen some of the games we played on the PS1.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
I just think it has a good style, you know. I think it looks fine.
Yeah, I didn't see any problems with it. I love how every single level is very unique to one another. Even if you're doing the ice levels, every single ice level is so different and they don't repeat anything.
I mean, I wonder if they keep that up the whole game. I would imagine because the game, I think, is like 4 to 5 hours long. So,
oh, okay.
Well, you play slower than most people do, so
what does that mean?
you take your time. You know, you're exploring. You're like
that's true. Okay.
Really being
going
thorough.
back and perfecting the first rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could just beeline this game probably in 4 to 5 hours. I would imagine if you don't care about getting everything.
That's very true. Yes. I mean, the whole thing with the 100%, like I wanted to see how easy it was to get all and I will say is very satisfying when you do 100% each level is finding all those little secrets, which we'll get to later too. It's just,
I found some, but I didn't go crazy with it. I mean, like if I found it naturally while I was playing, I obviously went for it, but I didn't like really comb over every level.
I was looking for monkeys and monkeys only.
Jack had one goal in mind.
I mean, there are more monkeys than you have to get though. So like,
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, there'll be 8 monkeys on a thing, but you only need to get 5, and then you can't get more.
I think you have to
No,
go
you
back
can.
into the level,
Oh, you gotta
right?
get more. I just start again. Gotcha.
Which I will say was the most annoying thing of when you reach your cap, or if you collect all the monkeys, it resets the level on you. Because there was one level where the final monkey was right there and the final coin was right in front of him. Caught the monkey and then it kicked me out of the level, and I had to redo the level and go back and get to that spot again to get the final coin.
Yeah, I would have not done that. I would have just been like, all right, anyway, next level.
I knew where it was, so I had to get it.
Yeah, I mean, the levels aren't super long either. I feel like they're like 5-10 minutes usually, something like that.
If you play like Jack and you're just running through, yeah, it's 5 to 10. Some levels took me like 20 minutes if I'm like really exploring.
Yeah. I just, they're not very big though. Like you can see where you can go. It's not like you're like looking for hidden places usually. It's like, you went around the corner, there's something here. But it's not like you're thoroughly combing every single part of every level.
I would disagree with that.
Really?
When you get the Sky Glider and you can access higher points, there's a lot of secrets there. Even monkeys hidden in those areas. There's these other options where like you have to use the rowboat to get to this one area to then jump up to this thing to then take a tree up to this other place. And so if you really put forth exploring, you can find a lot of areas. And I feel like the maps some of them are small, but a good amount of them are actually a lot bigger than I even expected on my first playthrough of each one.
I just didn't think they were big like in a Mario 64, like Donkey Kong kind of way. They're big and like they have different like sections, like a lot of them. Like you can go into different caves and areas and stuff, but I wouldn't say it's a big scale though. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I agree with that.
I just feel like it's very easy to be like, okay, there's a monkey in this section of the level. So now I can kind of explore in that way to find that. It's not like you're literally just like, I'm going to go over here and see what I can find. Like you have a purpose.
No, I get that.
Yeah. I think that I can see how it would be satisfying getting everything. I just don't know that I would ever do that in this game.
Hell no.
I don't know. I know I started off talking shit and I'm going to continue talking shit, but I think that this is a very like fine experience for me. Like it's not like I love this game. It's not like I hate it. It's just like kind of whatever,
I agree. Except I feel like I'm on the higher end of that, where it's like a higher fine to where it's like I am actually kind of enjoying this game.
I like a lot of aspects of it. There's just those little things throughout it that ruin it for me. Like Jack mentioned earlier, the boat. Anytime you're in that little rowboat, I wanted to quit playing for good. I don't know if you'll see any in the footage I'm playing right now, but like if you watch me playing it, you could just probably hear me being mad looking at it. Jack, what are your thoughts on the rowboat?
Yeah,
I felt the same way. Just being in the water in general, like how you have to pitch down and like you can't rise up quickly. It's all, and like the camera angle still, like the camera angle is just always a pain in the ass.
I will agree that the swimming sucks. It's absolutely terrible in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like he just said, I think the most annoying thing is you can't rise quickly, so you feel like you can't look underneath anything that far because you're like, oh, well, I can't get up fast enough to get oxygen, so what's the point of even going?
Well, no, you can. You just hit the R1 button when you're underwater, and if you're not holding the L1 button, he shoots straight up really fast.
Like really fast?
You know the fast swimming he does?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just fast swims to the surface.
Well, I didn't know that.
I don't think I ever did that. I just did the thing where you let go and he rises up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you hold R1, it goes really fast.
All right. Well, that's one thing there.
But I do agree, like, navigating underwater, trying to catch a monkey underwater with the net felt almost impossible every single time. Trying to position yourself in a way to even aim the net was very frustrating.
Well, yeah, it's a combination of the camera, the swimming controls, and then trying to aim at a monkey. It's just like very frustrating. I will say real quick, while we're looking at this beach level, I had a lot of frame drops in that level for some reason. I don't know why. It like got really slow.
That happened to me the whole time I was playing the game.
Oh. I didn't notice it that many times, but sometimes it would just be really, really slow for some reason.
I only really noticed it if I shot the explosive slingshot round. There's some times when the explosion would cause some frame drops, but I don't really think I noticed it all too much.
Like, do you remember the level with the walls that like push out and you have to like walk along
Yes.
the thing? Every time I played that, it would drop frame rates. So it's dropping right there.
Yeah. I mean, this level was tough. I think it's just because there's like so much going on, and like
Could be like the rocks and like the gradient or like the texture too.
well, the water is actually there. I'm pretty sure it's not just like an image of it. That might be why.
Maybe.
For some reason, these beach levels and a few other instances that I couldn't remember, but this one specifically, like as soon as I started it, I was like, oh, is this what it's going to be now? But it wasn't that bad.
So I guess we were talking about a lot of the gadgets, and you have to switch between them a lot. Almost like a Zelda, I would say.
Yeah.
Was there any ones that like you absolutely hated?
I mean, I kind of already brought it up, but the slingshot is just so annoying to aim that it's kind of whatever. Just because it's inverted controls and you can't switch anything.
Yeah, that was the
Yep.
only one I really did not like to use.
The ring was a little hard to aim when you're using it, but at the same time, you barely ever have to use it. So it's like whatever. But the rest of them I thought were fine.
Yeah, I like the hula hoop, or that's what that is.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Hula
talking
hoop
about.
and the helicopter thing.
That's the most fun one to use, I would say.
And that's what I was waiting for the entire time. Like even on level 1, I knew I needed that thing because through the manual, it tells you everything that you need. So I'm like, okay, I need the flying one. And so I was pretty much speedrunning to get to that flying one. And I was like, cool, I can go back and finally do all these levels again.
But yeah, I also was surprised there was so much voice acting in this game.
There really is.
I think it's pretty good, right? I mean, it's like anime stuff.
Yeah, especially with the whatever that lady's name is.
Yeah.
It sounded like a cartoon character, like the way they emoted and stuff like that.
hmm
The only one I genuinely hated was Spectres. And I don't want it to be make this seem like it's a negative thing, but it's almost like if you download an indie game and it's the one developer, so he had to do everything, including the voice acting, but he's not a voice actor, so it like kind of sounded like that.
So you are just talking shit on indie games, huh?
No. I don't know. Indie games are great. Keep making your indie games. I'm just saying when you don't have all the resources and you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like for Spectre's voice.
Yeah, I mean, if one of us tried to do voice acting, it would sound like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They pulled some random guy off and like, yeah, just talk as this monkey.
So I thought this game was pretty easy overall, though.
Yes and no.
If you're just
For the
playing
most
the game
part.
and not trying to collect everything.
Yes. But then there's areas like in the dinosaur's belly
hmm
where
Island.
yeah, where there's that one monkey that will just fuck you up in that bouncy room area.
Yeah,
And I never collected him. I don't know how to get him without dying. So
That's the one where if you touch any of the things hanging, you just like get bounced around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you catch him?
I did. Yeah,
How?
I just hit him.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, the same way you catch every monkey for this entire game.
You got him, and then you put the net on him.
Yeah, you hit him, then you just get the net out.
Oh, thanks. That's yeah.
I just heard
Great
you might
pointers,
you
thank
maybe
you.
use that information.
No, like I would try
Yeah.
and
They escaped.
he would throw a bunch of bombs at me. So I'm like, okay, I'll jump in the air. When I jump in the air, he shoots like 5 missiles at me that guide in on me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to get close to this guy?
I think I would just get lucky and hit him right before he was about to do that or something.
Okay.
I hated the flying saucer ones.
It'd take forever to kill.
There's only 3 hits with the slingshot.
Yeah, you gotta hit them.
Yeah, how are you going to aim with that thing?
So, okay, I know the aiming sucked with the slingshot. The biggest thing is they always fly in the same pattern. So you just set up your slingshot right in the one spot and just shoot it, and then they'll fly into it every single time. You don't have to move the cursor.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to like move away from it.
Perception.
I would move away from it and then let it go back and forth and do that. But if you try and do anything else, it'll shoot you. Like if you stay too close to it, or like you try and hit it with a sword, which I did try. I know Jack tried it too.
You can hit it with a sword, but it's just a lot harder.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll shoot you. I just think using the slingshot in general is annoying. So
yeah, give me an Uzi.
Yeah, all the apes get guns. Why don't we get any guns?
Could you imagine this game if you would capture a monkey that had a gun and you just got the gun too?
It would be kind of sick.
And you just shot the monkey.
Just spraying bullets.
To be fair, why are we capturing the monkeys and not just killing them? Is there a
I told you,
story reason for that?
There has to be some Spectre lore.
Maybe.
Spike lore.
I mean, I know it's a kid's game, so that's probably why, but like, sure as hell would be a lot easier just to go in here with a gun and kill all the monkeys and then problem solved, right?
Trank dart.
I don't think they don't really explain what happens with the monkeys after you catch them.
Exactly. Where are these monkeys going? What are they putting in McDonald's?
I mean, I kind of just feel like, I don't know if this is said, but it's kind of like a headcanon for me, is like the monkeys are innocent and he's like putting this thing on their head to like take them, right?
Yeah, the cool
I
helmet.
get that.
Yeah, he's got that. They mentioned his cool helmet.
That he stole from the lab or something like
He's
that.
super sweet with it.
So I'm assuming he built some for these other monkeys and that's why they're like smarter, maybe?
I agree. I mean, that makes sense logically.
It's monkey AI.
I just mean like you're going through here killing all these other creatures anyway with the sword and other stuff. So why aren't we just like going in there with a gun, just kill all the monkeys, solve the problem, exterminate them?
Whoa. Now we're talking.
They escaped, in real life, you would just kill them probably.
Yep. Make a bag out of them.
I didn't say that. I don't know. I feel like we've barely even talked about this game.
You can make a net out of them and then capture them with a net made out of dead monkeys.
It's kind of fucked up.
So they know,
All right.
they see where they're going to end up after you catch them again.
So what haven't we talked about here yet? I mean, I think the gameplay is pretty self-explanatory. You're going level to level, capturing monkeys. There's the little gimmick parts of each level, but for the most part, you're just platforming. There's the rowboat. Is there any other gimmick parts that I'm not thinking of right now?
We didn't get to it, but there is a tank that you can ride in.
I am positive that's probably a nightmare. Is it like aiming like the slingshot, or are you just like aiming straight ahead?
So the tank works a lot like the skis in the skiing minigame, where the left stick controls the left track and the right stick controls the right track.
Absolutely not. No, I don't want to do that.
Seems like a lot of labor.
I don't think it's that. I don't know. Whenever I was in the whenever I was in the rowboat, I didn't have a problem with that. It's just, it felt natural. Like you're actually, it felt like you were actually paddling the boat.
So one thing that really annoyed me about the rowboat was there was a couple times where the camera was like pointing at me and I couldn't reset it.
There's that camera again.
And I wasn't able to reposition myself in any meaningful way. So I'm just kind of like rowing towards the screen, which really was annoying.
Yeah. It was weird because with the robot, why am I saying robot? With the rowboat, it was almost like it was a fixed camera position, which they should have been doing the entire time.
Yeah.
I got stuck against a wall. Oh my God. I almost turned it off.
I had that too with trying to get one of the coins, the special coins, and I got stuck against the wall and couldn't back off because the current kept pushing me against the wall too.
It's like, should I just restart?
Yeah.
Now, what about the music? We always talk about the music.
Great music.
Love the music, especially in the ruins stage.
I liked the music in the main area when you're selecting your level. So good.
Yep. It's that weird. It's weird, but it's also good at the same time. Like, it's not weird in a bad way.
No, I mean, I think it fits this game like 100% perfectly.
Yep. And I love the little feature of when you get into the crawling position and the music cuts out.
I do like the crawling.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
I always forgot about it. I was like, oh, wait, I can crawl.
I did it like once or twice, and for some reason, I just never thought about it again.
About crawling?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm looking at your gameplay. You're just running in full speed at the monkeys.
Well, yeah, I'm sprinting in, bonk him on the head with the sword.
Right.
Get him with the net, you're done. Next? Yeah, get him with the net, you're done. That's all you need to do.
That's probably why I didn't make it as far as you in my 4 hours, because if I saw a monkey with the blue light, which we didn't talk about the lights, I would start crawling my way towards them. And then, I don't know if you guys found out about this feature, if the monkeys look at you and their blue light starts to like kind of flash a little bit, you can push in the right stick as well when you're crawling, and he hurtles up into a ball. And it's like the "you can't see me" feature or something like that. And so like you're pretending to not be there.
I never tried that. So it's like there's actual stealth stuff in this game.
Yeah.
So when the monkey's looking at you and you're in that like crowed up position, they just like kind of look right over you and don't think twice about it.
Like the ones that are too fast, that are like they have the high speed, you have to sneak up on them.
I snuck up on a monkey one time, then never did it again. But no, I like the idea of doing that. I just didn't really feel like for me it was 100% necessary. I don't know.
I guess I wanted to make it easier on myself and not have to chase a monkey around for 5 minutes. So if you just crawled up to him, you can catch him once, and you can swing your net while you're on your belly, so you don't even have to stand up.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I just don't think a lot of the levels are set up for that, because especially once you get like, I would say, to the snow levels, there's just constantly enemies around when you're trying to get monkeys too, for the most part. Especially the flying ones that will just like wait for you to jump and then get you.
Yeah, that's for me. I just used my slingshot. I would pick off every single enemy and then go in for the monkey after that.
Yeah, I mean, you played it a lot more thoroughly and smart, and I was just running around smacking shit. So
that's the one thing I'm noticing watching your gameplay is you're just going full speed in.
Yeah. Hey, it's a game.
So we kind of covered it. Like the monkeys, each one has a different light. Well, they have different lights to symbolize different things. Blue means they are just oblivious. Yellow is like we're kind of cautious that you're there, and then red is we see you and now we're running away. So you kind of use that to your advantage of if it's blue and it starts to blink, it's like, oh, it might be changing to yellow soon because you're making too much noise or you're moving too fast.
Yeah, and that's why you would do the stealth, but I just didn't really care about it and would just run in. So
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, hey, you can play there's multiple ways you can play, so
yeah,
do whatever you want. Did you ever do stealth?
A couple times, just for like the ones that were too fast. Like there were there was one that was like the slippery sleeper or something. Could not catch him, so I had to try and sneak up. I don't even think I got him in the end. I just gave up on him and got a different one.
Yeah, and you also use the radar a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, you find them immediately with the radar, and I just want monkeys. Let's not forget, I'm here for just monkeys.
I did use it a little bit in the beginning when I first got it, but then I kind of just figured if you explore the level, for the most part, you'll like hear them usually.
Yeah. I was just kind of on a mission.
Yeah, I just mean like you can hear monkey noises, so you're like, oh, there's a monkey near here.
But some of them, like, they're hidden on the sides of cliffs and stuff.
Yeah. Or like really up high and like, you might not even hear it.
Yeah, there's, and that one I was talking about where is the final monkey and the final coin right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
You literally had to position yourself on the edge of a cliff, use your camera to see where there's a very thin path and kind of like just nudge yourself off of the cliff to land on this thin path to find a hidden cave underneath the level.
Yeah, that's too much. Give me monkeys.
Well, that's the thing is like the radar kept telling me there's a monkey in the area.
Oh.
But I'm like, I searched everywhere. Where could this possibly be? And that's how I found that tiny little cave.
I don't know. I don't want it to seem like I'm being overly negative on this game. For me, the fundamental like elements of it did not work for me. So I still had a pretty fun time with it. I just don't think it's an amazing game. I think it's like kind of a good first step in the series. And I'm hoping that like the more games there are, it gets better. But I don't know. If there were no more sequels to this, I think this would be a forgotten game forever.
Interesting. I mean, you're also... So here's the thing too with the radar. If you use the radar, it tells you pretty much if it's in the area you're in or if it's in another part of the level that you have to go through a teleporter thing to get to. So it's very useful for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way you know if it's in your area is it will give you a live cam of the monkey that you can look at, which is also great. It gives you the surrounding area of where it's located. They give you the stats of the monkey so you know what to prepare for. And I mean, it's a little detail. They add little descriptors of each one, which you didn't have to go into that much detail.
There's a lot of funny stuff with the descriptions too. It'll be like this one wets the bed, and like this one's like this one talks shit, something like that. It's always something funny.
And there's one is like idolizes Spectre, and then the next one is wishes he could be Spectre.
Yeah, sleeps on the job, something like that.
It's funny because I think I stopped using the radar almost immediately, and I never looked at one of those screens. I never even saw it until I saw him playing earlier.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, like you said, multiple ways to play the same game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just wasn't trying to collect every monkey, so I felt that as you played and just went through the level naturally, you always had enough monkeys. Like, it was never like, oh, I need to go back and find another one. They always, like, place them naturally along the route of the level.
Pretty much. Just makes it easier.
Yeah, it was, it's more so I would feel like if you were trying to 100% the levels, that's when you would utilize that tool the most.
Definitely, yeah. Do you know what the other mini games are besides the skiing? Because I didn't unlock either of the other ones.
I was going to look that up, but you kind of surprised me with how quick you were ready to start recording. And I just finished playing the game 5 minutes before you said, hey, we're all set to go. So I didn't get a chance to look into that.
Well, I just finished playing and I set everything up and I was like, well, you know, we're ready whenever you are. So whatever. Here we are.
Yeah, while you do these reviews, I'll look into that.
All right. So before we get to our scores, let's take a look at a couple retro reviews and see how the game was received at the time. So the game got insanely positive reviews, literally like almost no bad reviews, period, for this game. So official PlayStation Magazine gave the game a 5 out of 5, and they said, if you are at all or ever have been interested in a great platformer for any system, this game is for you. Ape Escape toasts Spyro, puts Crash back in the cage, and makes Croc look like a croc of, well, you know. Don't believe the lack of hype. Go play this game now.
Dissing all three games that all three of us like.
Those are big words for some
now,
little monkeys.
Obviously, I talk shit on this game for most of this podcast, but I do think it's still a pretty fun game. This game does not have shit on Spyro, does not have shit on Crash. I have not played Croc, so I can't speak to that, but like...
Dude, you'll love Croc. Give it a chance.
This, to me, is not even close to Spyro. Do you disagree?
I'm torn.
I think that they're comparable, but it's
yes.
Spyro definitely blows it out.
I mean, we're gonna have this exact conversation at some point on this show. So, like, I'm asking you now, like, what would you rate higher? Spyro?
Absolutely.
I feel like the Spyro is so biased because of how many times I beat that game, 100%ed it. I think, just from my memory, I think Spyro is very simplistic compared to this, where it's not very simplistic and it's actually more of a challenge on what you have to do.
I think Spyro is for jocks.
No, we think Spyro is for little stupid kids.
Dude.
But this game is for the smart people.
No. I love Spyro too.
No. I just think that Spyro controls much better. The camera is better.
Yes.
Like, yeah, this has more gadgets.
I don't need gadgets if I can blow flames out of my mouth.
I don't need gadgets if the game is already so good to begin with that you don't need to keep adding more elements to it. But I don't know. I get what they're going for. You know, I don't want to.
It is an original idea, at least for the time, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. People are going to see this episode and think that we're going to be like, wow, it's so good. And then we just talk shit on it the whole time.
The character design is not very original. It kind of just looks like red-haired Yugi.
Yeah, he does. But I mean, it's just anime. Like, what are you going to do? It's an anime character named Spike. He has spiky hair. Like, you know, what do you want? All right, IGN gave the game a 9.5 out of 10. And they said, frankly, at first the game seems hard to control. It's often difficult to get the little running monkeys into the time net. Once players get the hang of the 3D spaciousness, nabbing monkeys becomes second nature. But what elevates Ape Escape to new levels of greatness is its deep gameplay and replay value.
Which I said from the beginning, like it was very difficult when I first started, but the more I played, the more I started to enjoy it.
I just don't really think the game is hard. I think it's purely based on you just getting used to the controls. Like, I don't think any of these challenges are that over the top.
The control setup definitely gets in the way of it being super easy.
I also think the whole jumping with R1 thing is annoying, but obviously you can't really do anything about it because the face buttons are for the gadgets.
I changed mine to jump or X and R1 to the gadget.
Did that help you?
Yeah.
All right. But in the original game, you wouldn't have been able to map that. So,
Right.
you know.
To go back to the mini games, so the other two are boxing, which I would assume you control both arms with the joysticks. And then one that's called like Galaxy Ape, which is kind of like asteroids where you're on a planet and you got to shoot the asteroids coming towards the planet.
Okay.
And that's the other two.
In your opinion, do they look fun?
I would say the last one probably looks the funnest, but
Okay.
boxing probably last. I'd probably take skiing over the boxing.
I just really didn't like the way that you have to control each leg of the ski with the sticks. Like, it was just kind of annoying. I don't know. Whatever. I've already talked enough shit on this, so it's time for our scores. I think we can let Jack go first.
Okay, 6.
Do you want to elaborate?
Sure. I generally had a good time playing it, but the things that make it not fun make it really not fun. But besides that, I enjoyed the theme. I enjoyed the maps, the colorways, the music. Most of the other stuff made it a good play, but the bad aspects made it bad for that reason.
Yeah, and I feel pretty similarly. I think it is fun to play. It's just like a lot of the frustrating stuff is what I'm going to remember about this game now. Like the boat or like, just being frustrated with the controls or the camera. I think to me that outshines what makes this game good. And even though I got used to the controls by the end, it still was frustrating to me. So
what's your rating?
I'm going to go a little higher than Jack with a 6.5.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, I've been trying to defend this game the entire episode.
Hey, give it the score you want to give it.
No, I know. And even going to this, I'm like, oh, this might be an arguing episode. And I know you're going to be very mad at me for this one.
Talk your shit.
Considering what we did a couple of weeks ago.
He's not going to talk shit. He's going to give it a really high score. So
Talk your shit, pimp.
Like I said, from the beginning, I was starting very low, and that number kept going up and up the more I was playing the game. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say like 9 or something, and I was going to be like, come on, dude.
No. But considering I gave this a higher rating than Crash 2, I figured you were going to be very mad about that.
Hey, you have your own opinions. I might think they're wrong, but you have them.
That's fair. I don't know. It's just one of those things of everything you're saying was annoyances I had no problem with. And it just goes back to how we played the game differently. And that could be the big reason.
Literally the past few episodes have been like that, where one of us is really annoyed about something and the other one's like, what are you talking about? It's fine. So this is the way it goes. I mean, I think you kind of prefer this in Spyro, where I prefer the more like linear stuff, I think. That's kind of what I've been gathering as we've been going.
I get that, yeah.
So it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah. So with all three of our scores combined, the average is 6.66.
Whoa.
How does that make you feel?
I got to change my score.
Ah, man. I mean, it is funny that you try to give it a higher score, and if Jack wasn't here, it would have been a 7 even. But
since I'm here, it's 666. Ha ha ha.
Well, Kyle has fucked us multiple times being on this show where
Kyle fucks everything.
Yeah, well, so we were playing this game D, and like we all gave it a 3, and Kyle's like, it's a 2 out of 10. And I'm like, dude, come on. And then like, what was it? Resident Evil. He gave it a way higher score than everybody else and like just moved the game up. And I'm like, you can't do that. But I guess you can. Like, what can I say? I just told him I thought he was crazy, and then we moved on.
He said it's a 9.
He gave Resident Evil 1 a 9 out of 10. Me and Mike gave it a 7.5, and Jay gave it an 8.
That's generous. I don't know. Everybody has their flavors.
That's the thing, though. Like, Kyle isn't around for all. He just plays the games that he wants to play. So, like, you know, it's easy to give a game a 9 when you haven't played a lot of PS1 games.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like your score is pretty fair for this. I mean, like, you thought it was fine. You didn't love it. Didn't hate it. So 6. Kyle's like, I like this game. It's a 9. And then we talk shit on it for an hour, you know?
Yeah.
But all right. So what number does that put that at?
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about that. I lost it. Oh, that puts us at 27, under Hot Shots Golf, above Diver's Dream. I feel like it should be higher, but the numbers are just put it where it needs to be put.
Yeah, I mean, I almost gave this game a 7. And like, what I kind of did was, as I played it, like I started it around a 7.5 to an 8. And the more I played it, I just kept going down and down because I was just getting annoyed with it.
If they fixed the camera, maybe the
I'm not
swimming
saying
thing.
6 is a bad score. It's fair. It's a very fair score.
So how many more episodes are going to be on now, Jack?
We'll see.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you, Jack, for joining us. And thank you so much for watching or listening. If you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe, as well as give us a rating on podcast services. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.